Weeks where we were waiting to get to Friday. You know, a lot of finance ministers wanted to get to Friday because the bond markets had acted so frightened earlier in the week. Italy moved heaven and earth to pass this austerity budget by Friday, much earlier than expected and much bigger than expected. And yet, we haven't seen spreads calm down at all in Europe. This thanks to a trading desk that sent me the spreads. If you don't understand what a spread is, don't worry. All you have to know is as you look at this full screen, the bigger that number is next to the country, the more investors are worried that that country will not be able to pay its bills. And those numbers have been getting bigger today and this week, not smaller, even though countries like Italy have made huge moves to try to calm down the bond markets. So as we see these countries, we've seen Portugal, Ireland, Greece, now Italy, passing these tough budgets, which means they have to cut services for their citizens and they have to raise taxes. What you see are protests. For example, this morning we saw 250 pensioners show up in front of the Italian parliament today to protest this latest austerity budget because they are going to pay higher taxes. They're also going to face fewer services. They got to pay now co-pays for specialists, for doctors. They didn't have to pay them before. It's going to be somewhere between 10 to 25 euros per visit. Just one example of some of the measures that they are taking. We found enough of them who speak English who could express to us very clearly how they felt about the situation and politicians.
For us, it's not a good situation.
Berlusconi, go home.
Go home.
Go home, please, in fast way.
We fight against him.
We have to cut the cost of politics in Italy.
There is no work for young people too.
So certainly not as violent as we saw in Greece at all, thank goodness, but still populations are growing tired of the austerity measures. And guys, we can have long discussions about whether or not they borrowed from future generations. They probably did, but still, right now they're very angry about what's going on. Back to you.
Michelle, Italy was what looked like it was going to blow up. We put you on the plane, you arrived there, calmed things down. Now, I just want to ask you, I know what it's like to leave a country that was just in trouble. You're on the plane. You're wondering, should I go? Should I not go? Do you feel like next week, you feel like you have the situation under control, or is it possible to flare up again next week?
I think it's possible that it flares up again next week, Steve, because we've seen the numbers getting worse throughout the day, not better. Let's see. You know, it depends on what they do over the weekend. Are we going to see any kind of movement out of the European Central Bank, out of the European Union? There are calls for more fiscal unity of some sort, some kind of some kind of plan to figure out what are you going to do about Portugal, Greece, and Ireland. Yeah. What are you going to do?
And you're in a restaurant, right? Because I was in that very restaurant across from the Forum, right? Is that where you are right now?
Oh, yeah, we've eaten every meal here for the last 3 days, yeah.
We rented that place for the G7 meeting. It's a great place. Nice guys there. Good food.
Yep,
all right, now I got to
Michelle.
read this in the prompter. Thanks, Michelle. Safe travels. It's a good day to be Google. A day after better than expected earnings, its stock helping push markets higher. Courtney Reagan at the NASDAQ.
Yeah, that's right.